On a pristine early morning, the gentle golden sunlight filters through the shady foliage of the ancient trees in a small village on the outskirts of Tay Ninh City. Birds chirp, as if welcoming a promising new day. The wind blows gently, carrying the cool breeze from the distant fields. In that peaceful setting, Mr. Tai's sawing team is starting a busy working day. Mr. Tai is the leader of the sawing team, famous throughout the region for his skillful pruning and sawing techniques. Today, his team is tasked with pruning and cutting down some of the old tall trees in the village. These trees have stood firm for decades, their large canopies shading a large space. But now, they need to be trimmed so as not to affect the houses and the village's electrical system. Mr. Tai stands under the largest ancient tree, looking up at the wide canopy with attentive eyes. He turned to his team, which included close members like Fong, Hung, and Hai, each with many years of experience in the profession. Today we have to prune carefully. This tree is tall and has a dense canopy. If we are not careful, its branches will fall on people's houses, Tai said, pointing up at the tree. Don't worry, Tai. I have been climbing and sawing branches for 10 years, and I have never let any branches fall on a house, Fong smiled, preparing his safety harness. He is a specialist in climbing high, standing on large branches to prune each branch. Hung was checking the chainsaw, making sure it was sharpened and full of gas. It's so cool today, the birds are chirping. It's perfect for our working atmosphere, he said, his voice full of optimism. The whole group burst into laughter at Hung's funny comment. Although the work is somewhat dangerous, they always know how to keep their spirits up, thanks to the humorous stories they often share while working. When everything is ready, Fong puts on a safety harness and climbs up the tall tree trunk, while on the ground, Hai and Hung supervise and support. Tai stands from afar, directing and monitoring the situation. Every time he cuts a large branch, Fong has to calculate so that the branch falls to the right place safely, without damaging anything below. The recent storms have weakened many branches, so this time we trimmed at the right time, Hai said, his eyes following Fong's every move from above. I remember a few years ago, our team trimmed trees after a storm in the neighboring village. When Fong climbed up there, he discovered a huge bird's nest, Hung said with a laugh. The bird was still there, chirping loudly. Fong had to sit and wait for almost a whole morning for it to fly away before daring to cut the branch. And the time Hai and I went to saw a big banyan tree near the market, a kitten suddenly climbed to the top of the tree and didn't dare to come down. Before we could do anything, we became a cat rescue team, Hung added, and the whole team burst into laughter. The working atmosphere became even more comfortable thanks to those humorous stories. While Fong carefully sawed each branch high up, Tai and the other members handled the cut branches and cleared them out of the work area. They worked with high professionalism, but did not forget to create fun moments to reduce the stress and danger of the job. After a while, the tall old tree was gradually trimmed neatly. The large branches were now just a pile of leaves on the ground, ready to be cleared away. Tai looked around, satisfied with the result. One tree done, 2 more to go. Keep up the good spirit, team, he said, encouraging everyone. Still in good shape as usual, Captain. Phong climbed down from the tree, sweating but smiling. Hung patted Phong on the shoulder, then the group sat down to rest in the shade. Uncle Hai opened the teapot he brought with him, pouring cups for everyone. This tree cutting job not only requires good technique but also knowing how to relax. That's the only way to do it in the long run, he smiled gently. That's right, you always have to keep a relaxed mood. Sawing at high places with tension is easy to make mistakes, Tai agreed. While everyone sat down to rest, they continued to share their experiences in pruning techniques. Tai repeated important techniques such as how to analyze the direction of the branch's fall, check the strength of the branch before standing up, and always use the safety rope properly. Phong shared more about how to saw small sections for easy control, while Hung talked about keeping the saw blade sharp and checking the machine regularly. The working day passed in a happy and professional atmosphere. When the sun rose high, the golden sunlight illuminated the entire village, the trees were neatly trimmed, making way for new rays of sunlight to filter through the leaves. The birds were still chirping, like background music for the sawing team's diligent work. Tai stood up, looking at the group with pride. A good day at work. Thank you everyone. Now let's clean up and go home. The whole team cheered in response, packed up their tools and prepared to finish the job. Looking back at what they had done, everyone felt happy and satisfied. The work was hard, but thanks to the camaraderie and sharing, everything became easier than ever.